butterfly position, but before we do, just so that we don't get too stiff in one position, feel free to shake it out. Reach those fingertips up nice and tall. Exhale, reach to your toes. Good. Now I want you to lift your chin and chest up. So here on your shins is completely fine. Remember, you can use those blocks if you need to. Okay. Everybody's different. And then round the back. Notice that when your back is straight, we focus deeper on the lower body. When we round our back, our stretch comes up into the upper back. So we want to make sure we do both. Slowly round and roll up. All right, so one more butterfly exercise. We're going to go back into our butterfly. You know your options on how far to go. And we're going to hit kind of right into that lower section of your low back and hip. So we're going to lift up, just twist towards one knee, okay? And then you can use your blocks or something, or just place your hands slightly behind you. But we're going to take that opposite arm. So if we're twisted to the left, I'll take my right arm and just place it on that shin. I'm going to gently drop down. Now, as I do that, I'm going to use my hand to kind of pull up. Now, you don't have to bring your thigh up to your chest. I want you to just gently open up this side of the body here by using your arm as a resistance. So it's almost like I'm extending my armpit away from my hip bone. And take a breath. Now, if you're feeling yourself lean into it and this butt cheek is off, I want you to use this hand to shift your weight so both hips are on the mat. And now what we're going to do to finish this off is take your elbow and lift it just halfway. You don't have to go high. I just want you to look through your armpit here. And then relax the elbow, lift up, and then slowly take it back to center. Inhale, reach up. Neutralize that spine. So we always make sure we're nice and center again, and exhale. So we're going to switch the other side. We're going to twist first. Take that opposite arm, just grab onto your shin. Now, if that's too far for you to reach, you can grab somewhere else, okay? So from here, use this hand to make sure that your other butt cheek is right down there, and let's drop it down. So again, we're going to use that arm. Imagine extending from your armpit the side of the body here. Now, we don't want to completely relax the neck because we want to keep our spine straight. So if you want to look kind of straight down and forward, that would be better. So we don't want to pinch the neck, and we don't want to round it in. We want to keep everything nice and long. Now lift that elbow up, look through your armpit. Remember, help with the breath. Release the elbow, lift up, back to center. Inhale, back to center. Shake everything out if you need to. Exhale and release. Let's bring those knees in. So I'm going to go at a slight angle just so you can see a little bit better. But from here, we're going to grab our shins again, and we're going to sit up super tall. Like, I want to actually feel the muscles along your back and your spine actually contracting. So you might notice maybe you're not pinching up high, but you're not pressing down. What I want you to do is press down. Literally take your shoulder blades and press them back. And if it helps, you can kind of roll your shoulders back too, and then lift up. So the bottom of my shoulder blades are pressing into my rib cage, and I'm lifting my chest up. Now, are you stretching? Maybe, maybe not. But what we're doing is contracting the muscle, heating it up, because we're going to stretch really deep right now. Slowly, take your time, and then round and lean back. Now you can tuck your chin into your chest. So open up, and if you want to lean back a little bit further without falling back, be on your tippy toes here, and really open up your shoulder blades. So imagine your shoulder blades opening up like wings, away from your rib cage and away from your spine. Now feel free to just rest that chin on the chest wherever it goes. Draw your belly button through your back. Now while you're here, imagine tilting your pelvis, pushing your tailbone down and up like a little fish hook, and really getting all the way through that back. From the top of the neck, all the way down to that tailbone. And then bring it back up and shake it out. Let's roll the shoulders back. All right, so we've got nice and warm through our midsection. We're gonna go up into the shoulders here. So let's just drop our arms down to our side and very lightly take it ear to shoulder. And then over to this side, very slowly, smoothly transitioning over to this side here. And then up through the center to the other side again. Notice the second time, draw your shoulder blade down again. So away from your ear, just let everything lengthen right through the side of that arm. And up through the center, take your time, over, drop that opposite shoulder down. Excellent. So keep that in mind that we have to keep our spine straight. If you start sacrificing that position in your back, all right, that changes everything, plus puts a little bit of pressure on that low back. Let's bring that head up. Roll your shoulders back. Roll it back. Oh, it feels so, so good. Bring your arms behind you. Roll your shoulders again, and then just drop your arms off your side. So from here, so you can kind of see, we don't want to be bent. We want to roll and then drop down. If your arms don't lift off your back, no big deal. Just lift up, okay? Or stay here. But I want you to imagine taking your elbows and pointing them in towards each other. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades. And not only that, you're actually opening through the chest. So we're creating circulation through our heart, opening up the chest. And we sit a lot and our shoulders start to round, or we're looking down at our phones. Slowly shake it out. Nice job. Let's shake everything out. All right, so we are going to take it into a little tabletop. So if you want to use your blanket for your knees, you're welcome to. I'm on concrete, so I'm gonna use my blanket here. So what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you an option with your blocks. If you don't have blocks, again, no big deal. You can use pillows or blocks, or nothing at all is fine too. So from here, I'm gonna show you without the blocks first. Let's go into a child's pose to start. So we're gonna stretch through the back. This is a great one for your back. Toes touch, knees out, and sit back. Now you can stay here. If this bothers your shoulders, bend your elbows and rest on your arms. All right, so what we're doing is actually lengthening that spine here. If this bothers your knees, keep yourself up and just do your puppy pose. All right, so whatever feels good to you. And while you're here, let's take that breath. Remember, we're recentering right now. We're regrouping. Exhale, open up the rib cage. And then slowly, to come out of this without any injuries, sort of shift your weight. So now I'm going to show you more of a shoulder, armpit stretch here. So I'm going to use my blocks. And again, you don't have to use your blocks. It's just a little bit deeper actually with your blocks. Is we're going to take our elbows on our blocks, and this is just to get started. Toes and knees can be either in or out. All right. So we're going to shift back. Now notice now you're going to end up on the triceps. So I kind of have to lift up again. Let your head fall through and just shift back. Now I want you to, palms are together, kind of like in a prayer, and then bring your hands behind your head. Now maybe you're only here. Watch your shoulders, all right? We wanna make sure we're in alignment here, and press your chest towards the earth here. I want you to lift your chin and chest forward to really lengthen the spine, but feel that stretch all the way from your armpits down into your hips. Now, if this is too deep, one, you don't have to do the shoulders. You can go into your child's pose. Two, you can do this without your blocks, and it's not quite as much, okay? So whatever feels good to you. Now, to come out of this, you just sort of shift your weight back onto the elbows so there's no pressure on the shoulders, and then lift yourself up, shake it out. Let's go into our tabletop here. Let's work through that spine again. So while we're in this tabletop, let's start by cat-cow. Round your back, tuck your chin into your chest. Belly button through the back, really stretch it out. Now, I like to wiggle this one out. It feels really good. And it kind of gets from one side of the hip to the other, so you can lean over to one side and then over to the other side. Just really slowly, drawing the belly button through your back. Let your head hang heavy. And then take it center. Let's arch the back, chin comes forward, shoulder blades come back. Extend the crown of your head forward. Imagine taking your palms and pushing them towards your knees. Now imagine pointing your tailbone all the way up. Really arching that back. Slow, deep breath, neutral spine, and shake anything out you need to shake out. Excellent. Last one while we're here, and then we're going to come on up, work those hips. One hand. So I'm going to say my right hand is right in the center. I'm going to take that left hand and open up. Now we're twisting through the center. If you'd like to stretch right through the outer thigh, you can push your hips slightly off too. So make sure you're stacked here and you're not dropping into your shoulders. So everything is extended away from the ear, and then lift up. Exhale, place that hand where the other hand was, and we're gonna go the other way. So now right hand up. I'm gonna lean into my right hip so I can get a little deeper stretch through my hip also. Push that shoulder away from your ear. It should feel really good through your hips, your low back. And then let's do that one more time, very slowly. Take time if you need to transition, lift up. Now maybe this time you can open the palm a little higher. Maybe this time you can lean a little bit more onto that left hip. And then very slowly take your time, replace that hand, lift it up, open. Notice one side a little bit more than the other. Exhale. The more we exhale, we get that air out of the belly. Take your time, bring it center, and let's sit back for one last child's pose. Again, arms can be extended. You could do the shoulder stretch or just hold it wherever you're comfortable. Feel free to sit back on those heels. Feel free to wiggle from right to left. So there's nothing wrong with movement. Not every stretch has to be held for a certain amount of time. We want to just warm up those muscles. That's stretching it as well. And then hold it. But with our movement, it's very controlled, very smooth. All right, we don't want to bounce. And slowly release it. All right, I'm going to use my blocks so you can see. But you don't have to use your blocks again. And what we're going to do is we're going to stay here and we're going to get through the hamstrings, hips, and glutes, all right? So we've covered a lot of upper body, a little bit of lower body. So let's get into the lower body a little bit. Let's take one leg, and you can do it however you need to. You can swing that leg around, or you can just slide it through. But what I want you to make sure you're doing here is make sure that knee and your heel are in line. And the back knee is going to be dropped. Now, if you want to work harder and you want to be here, you are welcome to extend. But if you're here, I want you to make sure you're shifting your weight back towards your heel. So try not to lean into this foot. Everything is shifted back, okay? So if you want to have that back leg up, you can, all right? So from here, if your knee is down, let's flatten the foot so we're in line. And I'm going to use my blocks because if I lean into it, I lose the stretch through my hip flexor. So I'm here, and I'm going to go at a little angle so you guys can see a little bit better. But I want to let this hip sink without arching my back, all right? So if I use the blocks, it helps me kind of stay up without really balancing and pressing. It just gives me a little bit more focus on the area that we want to focus on. So hold it here. And I tell you guys all the time, we can't just stretch the back of our body. It's really easy to fall forward and like forward fold and stretch your glutes and stretch your hamstrings because it's easy to bend forward. It's really hard to open and stretch the front of our body. So we get even tighter through the hip flexors, which creates our body to do this, right? And the more we do this, the more pressure we have actually on my lower back or your hips. And so, yeah, let's just stay here for a second. All right, so we're going to shift back. If you need to use your hands so you're not on the knees, let's shift back. Now we're going to get into the hamstrings. So from here, we're working hamstrings, not back, is I want you to keep your back straight. So again, this is why those blocks come in handy, because if you're here, you might not be able to lift your chest up, right? So if you're here, we can really focus on pointing that tailbone back. And I'll show you here. We don't want to round. We want to push that tailbone back. So imagine a string from the back of your knee right into the glutes, and then lift and press. Awesome, awesome. Breathe, breathe. Bring that chest forward. So we're going to do both of those one more time. Slowly shift forward and back. And open up. Maybe this time, notice how that hip just really feels good. You can feel all that tension, all that stress, all that power that's stuck in there. Just kind of going. You already feel good. And having your heart open makes you feel even better. All right, let's slowly shift back for one more. Let's lift that chin and chest up. Be conscious of how that spine is. And let's stretch. You guys are doing awesome. I want you to remember, if you ever have questions or you need modifications for anything, please, you can always message me and I will get back to you for sure, for sure. All right, so we're going to finish off right through the glutes here on this side. So we're going to shift our weight forward. Now I'm going to take my block, or you can just take your hand. I'm going to show you this way, and this one of my favorites is our lizard pose. This is a very popular pose, is we're here. Now if I had my mat, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this front foot. I'll walk my foot off to the side. All right, so if you're on your mat, you're walking it off to the edge of your mat. Now you're going to slowly come down, and if you need to, you stack your blocks. But if you slowly come down, I want you to lean that leg out so the weight is on the blade of your foot. Feel that stretch. Oh my gosh, this is still one of my favorite stretches. Kind of like a pigeon pose. This one's called lizard, all right, little different animal. But we're really diving deep into those glutes, all right? So whatever feels good to you, and we're only gonna do this once today, so just kind of Let it happen. Breathe. One more breath here. And as you exhale, I want you to actually feel that breath help you stretch out. Like your leg might not change where the distance is, but the tension isn't there, right? So just let it go. Slowly push yourself up to a seated position or up onto that leg. And then you can take that leg and swing it back however you need to, right? And bring it straight behind you. So now we're straight behind you. We're going to finish off with the calves here in the back of the knee. If you want your hips square, make sure you're not turned. Okay, so we're going to finish off this side. Shift your weight back towards that heel. Now mine doesn't go real far. Still working on my injury and my flexibility on my ankle. But you want to shift your weight back. I feel that stretch right through my calf and then also the Achilles. So right closer to the heel. And then if you straighten your leg a little bit more, not like it's locked, but it's definitely straight, you'll feel this almost through the back of your knee. And then let everything go. We don't want any tension. We already worked on that upper body. Slowly release and shake it out. All right, so we're gonna do the other side. I hope you feel good. So let's take that other leg, swing it through however you need to, so you can also just kind of bring it around. I can't even do that. So bring it around and sit into it, all right? So from here. So first time through, right? Oh, so tight right there, right there. All right, so make sure you're not arching. Make sure you're not letting that hip sink too far. Everything is controlled. And a good tip also is, even though your legs aren't together, you're kind of thinking about squeezing your inner thighs together. So it's kind of an imaginary tool. Take a breath. Exhale, shift back into your hamstring. Remember, this is a hamstring stretch, so we want to lift that chin and chest up. It's not how far you go. It's about the alignment in your body. Extend your hips back and your chest forward. So feel that all the way from the back of the neck, or back of the knee, all the way to the back of your tush. Feels so, so good. All right, let's shift forward and back again. And lift up. Nice job. So I'll also be posting today on our site is a little flow. It's literally just this back and forth for you, and it'll stay on our site as well, just to kind of stretch out those hips and glutes. It's kind of one that you can go back to anytime, because this is a really good one. Go ahead and shift back because it hits both sides, and you can do it anytime. Just maybe hop in the shower real quick, get those muscles warm, and then you know, do these right afterwards. It's perfect. Second time through, feels really good. Notice the difference. All right, so let's go into our lizard. We're gonna shift our weight forward. Bring your arm around to the inside. I'm gonna take my block with me, all right? And I'm gonna walk that foot off to the edge of my mat. And then lean your knee off to the side, all right? So let me show you at an angle here. Got a little spider, I don't wanna crush it, it's super tiny. So we're gonna open our knee, place the weight on the blade of your foot, and again, you can just drop down. What's up, buddy? Super tiny. If he was bigger, I would not be happy, but he's super tiny. All right. So we're gonna stay here for just a second. Allow yourself to relax. Feel those hips open right here. Lots of tension, stress in our hips. We're gonna let it all go right now. Breathe. Feel free to relax that upper body. You can rock a little bit back and forth. Anytime we move, it's very controlled. And then hold. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna lift that knee, walk it in, and then shift that leg back. So last stretch here, same leg that we just had forward goes to the back. Shift your weight back. So we wanna make sure our hips are square. Shift back, press that heel down. Good, now let's lift that knee slightly up so that we get all the way through the calf and the back of the knee. Slowly shake it out. Now option, if you'd like, if this bothers your knees, please don't do it. I just want you to sit on your heels. So this feels really good to counterbalance that stretch we just did in our calves. Really stretches through the front of your shin, through your quads and knees. But if it's too much for your knees, please don't do this one, okay? So we're just gonna kind of sit back. This feels really good on my ankles, just stretches it all out. So I know this works because about a week ago there was no way I could sit on this heel, and now I am increasing the flexibility. So the more you do things and the more consistent, which is really important that you are, the more progress that you will see. So I like that I'm living proof, because the more I experience, the more I can share with you, and the more, more I can help you. So I'll look at my broken ankle as a tip to be a better instructor, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and come on up. And let's just sit however you're comfortable. I hope you enjoyed today. We are almost done. Hands in heart center for just a second here. So I want you to just really kind of reassess that body, see how you feel. Please message me if you have any questions. And we will have a link below that will help you guys and get you a free video, a members only video. And if you'd like to join our booty challenge, just let us know and you can message us for that. We are still doing it. We're only on day 3, so have a great day. Namaste.